Hello again YouTube, Mad Dog here. Welcome back to my channel. So in this little video I'm going to be introducing a new line to my little eBay shop, and that is this stuff, and this is the kiln dried wood shreddings. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So on this little video I just wanted to show you guys and lasses around this latest product of mine, and this is the kiln dried wood shreddings. So obviously this is to be used in conjunction with the traditional flint and steel kit and charred material to establish an ember into which you will transfer your ember into this material, or alternatively you can directly ignite it using, a ferrocerium rod. This is my latest olive wood handled Mad Dog Monster set, of which there are 2 left I believe on my eBay shop at the moment. So if you fancy something like that, this is a second, this is my own, not up to my usual standard, so I gifted this one to myself, but there are 2 more of the same design, same type of wood available on my eBay shop with the ceramic striker. I do recommend that. I'm bound to be biased, but seriously, very effective. So yeah, you can ignite this tinder using conventional methods like the ferrocerium rod, the matches, lighters, etc. But primarily this is for practicing flint and steel. If all your natural resources around you is sodden, soaked, or you're just starting off in this hobby of ours, bushcraft, then this makes ideal learning tinder or emergency tinder. You can carry a small portion or bag of this in your kit and guaranteed to have a dry form of tinder, which you don't need to process, you don't need any effort or calories expended to make it viable, because it's ready to go. Now I will say from the offset, when you receive one of these, if you do go ahead and buy one of these, what I do is, because of the dreaded postage and packaging, both me and my missus, what we do is we compress all the air out of one of these. So we literally lean the hell on this and squeeze all the air out of one of these Ziploc bags, and we will Ziploc the bag up and then fold it over and then sellotape the end shut to stop air getting in. Maybe even put some tape around the waist, because it has to fit a criteria of size for the P&P. So on first impressions it'll look like there isn't much in there, but trust me, once it's been opened to the air and the air sucked in and it's all swollen up, there is plenty in here for many fires. That's one thing I do try and do, is be as generous as I can with my portion amounts within the parameters that I've got to work with, and they are basically governed by postage and packaging, to be honest. I can't sell a product for a price that is less than the postage and packaging. It wouldn't make sense. So that being said, let's have a quick look at this. I'm just bring on the old baking tray here. So what we've got is fine tinder bird's nest material. Like I say, it's dried, kiln dried wood shreddings, and it does take some pulling apart because there is a mass of it. I do compress it in the bags quite well. I'm just going to pull some out randomly. Now what you will see is, or notice, is within the bundles you'll see this sort of thing going on. So it's like a spiral where it's gone through the shredding machine. What you need to do is, if you really want to get the most out of this stuff, is take your time to unroll them, and that way you will get so much more material out of your package. These tiny little rolls, just unroll them. So you don't need a lot of bird's nest material if it's processed correctly to blow to flame. So I'm just going to give this a pull apart and get some air back into the fibres, unroll all those little coils of fibres. You don't have to be too pretty or pristine with it. The whole idea is to practice. So you can actually smell the wood. You know, it smells like if you've ever been to a sawmill, you know, that real good freshly sawn wood. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not drunk with me slurring. I've actually got a great big cut on the side of my tongue where I've managed to bite into my tongue quite well because I've had teeth removed recently, and because of the different shape of the gum line, when I'm eating food I'm finding that I'm actually eating my own tongue. So please excuse me if I'm slobbering and slurring. It is genuinely because I've got an injury on my tongue. So there we go. There's our bird's nest bundle, which we can then form into a bird's nest just by pressing towards the centre. You guys and lasses know the score. You know, it's not rocket science. It's just basic going with what feels right. Dropping most of it on the floor like I always do. Do excuse me. Okay, another roll here. Okay, so we'll try this first with flint and iron. Just one of my basic homemade kits here. Homemade striker out of a piece of high carbon steel foil. Reasonable piece of flint or chert there. And let's get some char cloth out of the tin. I'm not going to have a raging fire in here, obviously I'm in the shed. The reason I'm doing it in here is because it's absolutely throwing it down outside, or has been earlier on. So do excuse me for that. I will be using this stuff up in the woods for real, as it were, but just for a demo. So let's see if we can't get an ember to start with. Yep, we're in. So let's get that into our bird's nest. As it warm through, try and get a better shot here. There we go, no problem, easy days. So I'm just going to put that out, extinguish that before I set fire to everything. So as you can see, relatively straightforward, relatively easy, you know, and that is quite ideal tinder. It's very dry. Just move that to one side. It's still burning away down there once I've removed the lid, so it does hold an ember very well. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly demonstrate before the shed gets too consumed with the smoke. Another pile, pull it to pieces. You can, like I say, you know, there's stacks in here, many fires. I'm just going to pull this out quickly. And do a quick demonstration of the I don't know, ferro rod ignition, you might say. So this is a virgin, like, not been used ferro rod. So to start with, scrape the black coating off as always, just gently. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, so pretty much on the first strike, if not the second, we've got our fire going. Happy days. So obviously onto that now you'd add your first extender, whether that be birch bark, you know, fat wood, your small sticks, your kindling, etc. And you're onto a good path to having a successful fire lay. So that's a quick look around this stuff, the kiln dried wood shreddings, tinder. I'll just take the contents out just to show you roughly how much that you will receive. Just pan you down here a little ways, do excuse me. Okay. And I do sell this as cheaply as I possibly can, bearing in mind the price of the P&P, my eBay charges, PayPal charges, you know, the bags, everything that goes into producing this stuff. Okay, that's 1/2. This is just a rough demonstration, just to see, just as a demo, so you can see roughly what you're going to get once it's all opened up. And obviously I could take my time and unroll all the small rolls within that. So as you can see, you're going to get a good few fires, hopefully, with practice from that. So again, quick look around my latest little product. That's the kiln dried wood shreddings, available on my eBay shop as from today. Yeah, please go and buy about 35 of them. No, I'm only kidding. You know, if you do fancy practicing, jokes aside, then that's a nice way to start. You haven't got to worry about, you know, your preps being on point with your Tinder, because it's all ready for you to go. So just fire away and have fun. That's what this is all about, basically. And like I say, cost point, I do it as cheaply and cost effectively as I possibly can without actually making a loss. You know, that's to the penny, literally to the penny. So that's how I operate our little business. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll quit now promoting another one of my products, but I do it for the right reasons, believe it or not. You know, there is madness, method behind my madness with this. I do a lot of work for charity behind the scenes, which you guys and lasses don't always get to see. I contribute regularly to the RLNI Lifeboat Institute, as I do for Help for Heroes, Veterans Fund. So, and a lot of this is tied in with that. So I thank you all very much for your support. I thank you all very much for your continued watching, and basically stay safe out there. And until next time, which won't be long, I've got some kit reviews coming up very soon. I am getting back in the woods very soon. Have a great weekend, whatever you're all doing. Take care out there. Till next time, Mad Dog signing off. Yeah!